Hey guys, good afternoon. It's Cali. I'd like to wish everyone a happy new year. I thought I'd make a quick video today and just let you guys know what I've been up to this week. Unfortunately, I was not able to go to the auction for the new year. We all caught a bug around here and I'm still not quite over it, but I thought I'd take advantage of feeling a little better for a minute and share with you what I've been working on this week. Because God forbid I sit and rest. If I'm couch bound, I go stir crazy. So although I did take the opportunity to begin watching The Walking Dead, which my youngest daughter has been pushing me to watch for the last year or so. So I'm on season 3 now. But anyway, yeah, I wanted to share with you some of the altered auction art that I talked about in some of my last videos. Some of the ugly bottles I had and some of the frames, and also I have a junk mail journal that I made that I want to show you guys, and talk a little bit about how I'm being influenced daily by so many amazing artists here on YouTube, you know, around me in my life obviously, but lately especially because YouTube has already changed my life. Just the interactions that I'm having, new people that I'm meeting, and these amazing, amazing artists that I'm seeing. I'm definitely being influenced. I want to try everything. I'm all over the place. And that's, you know, mixed media, because I'm drawing, I'm painting, I'm crafting, I want to do it all. There's not enough hours in the day. So, you know, I've told you guys I'm an RN, but I'm not working anymore. I'm home on medical disability, after long complications after losing my leg, but blah blah, that's another story, another video. But anyway, I have time now, and I never had time in the past to really indulge myself, and you know, I get to play. And although I didn't feel good this week, I managed to be pretty productive. So I'm not rambling on, chatting. I'm just gonna shut up and show you what I've been doing. One of the first things I want to show you is this bottle here. And for any of you who have watched my previous videos, this was the bottle with the pink top and the pink fake flowers in it, with some unknown viscous substance, I believe was a bubble bath. I took it, I cleaned it, I emptied, obviously, took everything out and covered it. These paper towels were used to clean up a painting I had made, some acrylic paint soaked into the paper towels. I dried them and glued them on here. And then when that dried, I just embellished with some, I don't know if you guys can even really see these stars. And then I have some circular little mirror tiles. Here's one. Those. And then I took some chain, again from the auction, as well as a charm that was from a necklace from the auction, a couple of jump rings, made a little necklace for it, found an old cork. I got rid of the pink plastic top and put a cork in it. I just love the look of that cork in any kind of a bottle. And you know, it's funny because I see a lot of these altered bottles on YouTube, and you know, you can get really, really crazy with it, but I hesitate to go overboard. But yet sometimes I don't know when to stop. But I decided to just stop with this one and leave it as it is. And I think that I will be putting that up for sale in my Flying Spider shop on Facebook. I'll put the link below. But I'm not, probably I will. Another altered bottle that I got that you guys saw, the ugly bottle, in one of my last videos. This same video was also full of pink bath beads, I believe. They were nasty. Threw them away. Covered this bottle with masking tape. The whole bottle. Well, no, I lied. I covered it with gesso first. I gesso everything. I also gessoed the other bottle first. Homemade gesso. Which was 1 part acrylic paint, 1 part white glue, 1 part plaster of Paris, and maybe water. I'd have to check for sure. If anybody's interested, let me know. Anyway, masking tape, and then just acrylic paint on top of that. And again, I was going to keep going. I thought, oh, I could do polymer clay embellishments. I had made a charm, which I'll show you in a little bit, that I thought that I would hang from here, but I had it on the table, and I kind of just like the look of the simplicity of it. It kind of reminds me of, I don't know, something you'd see in a restaurant, maybe with a candle in the top. Another cork. Whoop. Watch out. This one's a little small. There we go. The corks I also got at the auction, and I had paid $1 for this wreath made out of corks. And when I got it, I told Kat when she handed it to me that I was going to take it apart, and she said, "Oh, don't deconstruct it. It's so cute." Well, I've been able to pull off like, I don't know, 20 corks so far, and you can't even tell the difference. This wreath is huge, but it's been handy because, I don't know, corks probably aren't expensive, but I'm cheap like that. So there's those two. And then, what else did I make? Okay, watching other videos too. So many amazing, amazing artists. So many I can't even remember the names of. But I was watching a few people who were making altered frames and shadow boxes and things like that. And I had a couple ugly frames that I had gotten from the auction. Again, probably a few for $1. One of them was a plain brown wooden frame. I wish I had the original to show you. This is what the finished product looks like anyway. And for those of you who follow me on Facebook, you've seen this. Some of these are so hard to see in the camera. I wish really seeing it in person does it more justice. And I'm such a newbie here. You know, I don't profess to be any kind of a great artist at all. And it can be really intimidating when you see some of these amazing people. I'm so inspired every day. But you know what? We all are at a certain point on the path in life, and we all have our place here, and I'm learning every day, and I'm so grateful to have the free instruction available to me, these amazing people sharing their art, and I get inspired, and I'm like, you know what, I'm going to see what I can do. So again, this is far from perfect, but I'm pleased. This is hanging in the bathroom. I'm so pleased with how this came out, but it's just a wooden frame that I gessoed and painted black. This back piece here is cardboard, and I just acrylic painted it and splatter painted it with some glittery acrylics. I took a label from a magazine that I had. This is just cardboard, and I reinforced it. And of course I realized too late that I do have what's the word I'm looking for, where the rivets go, not oh, I can't think about it. Anyway, I'll think about it in a minute. But anyway, I have one of those machines that I think it is a rivet that you put in the top, but I thought too late. But I put 2 jump rings, 2 chains, hung that. This was a magnet that I had, and I'm actually waiting. I don't own any embossing powder. I'm starting to slowly gather supplies here. But I did order some embossing powder, and I thought that I can emboss this. But this is just a magnet that I had, and I took some nail polish and painted that kind of this iridescent toppy kind of, I don't know. This is tin foil on a piece of cardboard that I crumpled and glued on top of. Made it bigger than the frame, obviously. Took black acrylic paint, painted all around it. Took a paper towel, sponged up the paint. This is a Halloween spider that I had. Glued him on. And then on the back, I just took 2 eye screws. Excuse, I should really paint over this, and I would if I were going to sell this, but right now it's just hanging. But 2 eye screws and some wire, and there you go. It looks great on my wall. So I kind of fell in love with that, and I wanted to do 1,000,000, and I see these amazing people doing great stuff. But anyway, that's where I did that one. And then, because a lot of you know that, again, I've been doing these galaxy stones, have like changed my life. They've opened so many doors, and I found a wonderful artist on YouTube, Lynn's Crafts. I think I'll leave her link below. She's been I had made these first, and there's a lot of people who make galaxy stones. This was not my original idea by any means. She uses embossing powder, I think. I've told you I use nail polish on mine. She used embossing powder on the back of hers, but she also incorporates polymer clay, which I had kind of wanted to do with some frames, but I'll show you something that I made that she was an influence for me, definitely, for sure. So thank you, Lynn, for that. But this is something that I made with one of the galaxy stones, and again, if you're on Facebook, you've seen it. But I just framed one of my existing stones, she uses jump rings, I think. I just used eye screws at the top and bottom. I took again, I don't have any stencils or anything, but I took a pot holder that I had and pressed the polymer clay in the bottom of the pot holder. I would like to glaze this or emboss the clay or something further. Right now it's kind of dull. But I put these little Swarovski crystals came from a necklace from my grandmother who's passed, my mother's mother. This glass green bead came from the auction, end caps, and then this little flower charm my grandchildren, Carter and Cameron, gave me for Christmas this year. So this is what I had made. And again, talk about being influenced by other artists on YouTube. I'm watching these videos and I'm like, oh, I want to create, I want to create. But I had thought that I was going to originally adorn one of these bottles with this crystal, you know, just hang it in addition. But it's a little heavy, but it's heavy enough to be a pendulum. It could be a necklace. I have it, of course, hanging in a window. I have everything hanging in the window. But so thank you, Lynn, for the influence. I took a knitting needle and just kind of poked around the edges with this. But that was a lot of fun to make. And I'm so all over the place with my art right now. I'm like a kid in a candy store, I swear. Again, with the wire, with making these wraps, I've been watching a lot of wire wrapping videos. So I'm pretty sure I didn't show this to you guys, but I did show it on Facebook. This was a bracelet that I had that I've wrapped in wire. I took, again, some crystals from a necklace of my grandmother, watched a tutorial, learned how to make this amazing tree of life. It could be a sun catcher, it could be a pendant. You know, I'm just like, wow. And then from that, you know, leads you to other directions. Speaking of frames again, another altered frame from the auction. I took, excuse the glare, wow. I took a frame that I had gotten that was beat up, and I gessoed it, and I painted it, and I covered it with foil, and I took wire, and I made a tree of life right on the foil. Well, first I painted the wire black. It was copper wire, and I painted it with black acrylic paint. I molded it around this background how I liked. I stuck it in the frame, again, hung it up, and this looks, I wish you guys could see this in person. This looks so amazing with a light shining on it. It just looks incredible. And I'm so critical because now as I look at it, I'm like, wow, I wouldn't have such a bend in the thing. And I'll call it a Joshua tree, like from California or something, or a Dr. Seuss looking tree. But I don't know. I just had so much fun with this. And the foil is, how cool is that? Who knew? I feel like I'm in 4th grade again. I get to experiment, you know, with masking tape and aluminum foil and just to be a kid again. And this is so cool. And so I had a lot of fun with that. And I also wanted to share with you guys a couple of, speaking of being influenced, I've always been a doodler. And if I'm on the phone or if I have any idle time, I'm always, I'll have a pen in my hand and I will doodle away. I'll doodle on a napkin at a restaurant. I'll doodle on a takeout container. I'm very, very happy amusing myself with doodling. So that's been a lifelong thing. So Zentangling was very easy for me to fall into. And maybe, I don't know, 6 months to a year ago, I started Zentangling. And that basically is just doodling patterns upon patterns. And I have copies of these in my shop at the Flying Spider. And this, again, being influenced, watching others on YouTube, this was probably one of my first ones. And excuse the glare, it's in a frame, which is why. But this was my hand, and I had originally traced around my hand, and then you just fill in areas with pattern after pattern after pattern. And this, again, wasn't really necessarily something I would have thought of on my own, you know. But because of that Zentangling, you can apply it to other things. In addition to doodling, I like to draw faces, and I've connected with an artist here on YouTube, Christy Gulf Sprite, who paints faces all the time, and I love your work. Hi, Christy. And she's a true artist, and I learn from her at every video, so thank you, Christy. But I also like to draw women's faces. It's been a thing of mine. I'm such a newbie. I don't profess to be any good at it, but I incorporated the Zentangling into one of my pictures. And again, excuse if you guys have seen this before, but I just took this woman's face and I did some dreads on her, and I Zentangled her dreads, and then I kind of Zentangled the top. And the top is more, one of my friends, Matt, had asked me if I liked Peter Max, and I love Peter Max. And I guess we're all influenced by everyone else, and that's the beauty of it. But these are, I don't know, I'm so excited to be growing as an artist. And I really haven't found my niche yet, but I'm just having a blast and having my fingers in all these, you know, puddles and pools. And again, here's something, I'm a big fairy girl. I love fairies and mushrooms. I'm sure that this was influenced by Amy Brown in a lot of ways. I don't know, but I did the Zentangle background. I took, you know, my fairy girl. That's definitely the mushroom. I've been drawing this type of mushroom here in the middle since, I don't know, 4th or 5th grade. So that always shows up in my work. I do a lot of crescent moons. I think we all have some things that we're comfortable with, but I'm trying to branch out, and in branching out, I'm finding things that I really like to do. And so I have copies of these available online in my shop. This was another one that I never really tried to do silhouettes or anything. I had bought some Micron pens. I heard that R. Crumb uses these pens, and so I was interested in trying that out. So I just, you know, had a blast doing this stuff. But these drawings were not done this week while I was sick. The other things I showed you were. I'm almost done here. We're going on 20 minutes again. So I know you guys, thank you for sticking with me, if you're still here with me to this point. One last thing I want to show you. I showed you my art journal that I did out of cereal boxes and an old book. So I'm still interested in art journaling. I want to keep, you know, January, New Year resolution, whatever. But part of that inner resolution that I've had has been to do art every day, and I want to keep to that. And the other day, yesterday, I was paying my bills, and, you know, most of my bills I pay online, but I still get some at home. I get the cable bill and electric bill or whatever, and junk mail obviously comes. And, you know, I'm getting ready to throw out this huge pile of mail, and I thought, you know what? I'm going to make a journal out of it. I've seen other people on YouTube make junk mail journals, envelope journals, things like that. And I said, let me take this junk mail and make a journal out of it. So I did. And I told you, I'm not a pink girl, but this wound up being pink, and I'll explain to you why. This is this great cover. It feels like, I don't know, leather. I'll explain to you how I did that. But I made this journal. I'll show you how I gessoed these pages. But, okay, so you tie it. Here's the cover. And this is all my bills. Okay. And I took about 10 of them, I think, and I laid them out flat. Oh, actually, first I took like an office envelope type of deal, right? I wanted to keep this pocket. I wanted to have these two be a pocket if I folded it, right? But that's not how it wound up, because I wound up having to cut this. But anyway, I didn't really care. I left it open. But I took one of these, and then I don't have any more mail left, but say this is my mail. And then I just laid the mail on top of this. So I did like 10 of them, laid it on. And then, again, there's a million tutorials on this. I'm not professing to be an expert by any means at all. This is just what worked for me. I laid about 10 of them, and then I poked holes in them. I'm trying to show you where I actually did that. I did a binding, a very super simple binding. I just poked 5 holes with a Gigantor needle. And I took some purple, of course, heavy duty, like baker's twine thread. And I started from the back, from the outside, in the middle, and I sewed out, you know, over, under, over, back and forth, met in the middle, tied it. Okay, so it looked like this, with the binding tied on the outside. And then it looked like that on the inside. And then this outer piece, you can cover it with anything you want, obviously. But I save everything crafty that I think I'm going to use again, like so many of us do. And some of the things that I save are paper towels that I use to clean up other paint and dye and things like that. Well, one of these I had from a few months ago, and it was paper towel that I used to clean up dye with, but I also covered it with Mod Podge. I was on a big Mod Podge kick for a while, and I covered this whole paper towel with Mod Podge. And when it dried almost like plastic. And it's the wildest thing. It just feels really cool. And I'm sure you could stamp on it, or I guess it's resistant to some things. I haven't tried yet, but I'm going to try to draw on it or embellish this in some way. But it just feels so cool. So I saved it. I tucked it away and saved it. But anyway, I glued it to the outside of the envelope, obviously. And then I trimmed all my mail. And that's how I lost my... See, I still have the brad there, but I no longer have the cover for it. But that's all right, because I have this that I can use to tuck stuff in. And then, after I trimmed it, I just wanted to show you guys. So last night I gessoed, good old gesso, I gessoed 2 of the middle pages to start, because that's what, obviously you could still see, good old Time Warner. I do not buy TV. I pay for my internet through them, and if I didn't have to do that, I wouldn't deal with them at all. But anyway, good old Time Warner. You gesso over the pages, and I'm also, I'll cover them. It's a regular journal. You can do your art journaling. For those of you who know all about this, please bear with me. I'm speaking to other newbies like myself. But anyway, I was really happy about this. So I recycled. I made myself a journal. You can too. I'm going to stop talking for now. Thank you very much. If you like this video, please like and subscribe on YouTube. I so appreciate the support. I think I have 90 subscribers now, which blows me away. So thank you guys so much. I love you. I hope none of you catch a stomach flu. I'm going to stay home and not make anybody sick, and I'm going to keep crafting. So I hope you do too. Thank you for inspiring me. I hope I can inspire you. I love you all. Take care. Bye-bye.